This episode is brought to you by Bellatoris Publishing, bringing stories to the world that last forever. How are you feeling about Brimstone so far?
Totally hooked. I want to know more. I want to see what's going on, what's going to happen, what's going to be next. I think the best part, this thing that we're doing, just having some chapters every single week, make it feel this getting longer, but at the same time, I feel that I'm not ready to finish as well.
Yeah, same. And I love this new format because it's just, we don't have to leave yet. And we can still theorize and people know that we're wrong, but it doesn't bother me. It doesn't matter.
Yes.
I'm not ready to leave Avelia yet.
We're still discovering. We still don't know how it's going to end. That's still a surprise.
This is going to be my new way of reading books from now on.
Hello and welcome to Faithfully Fantasy,
the husband and wife podcast talking all things Brimstone.
I'm JC.
And I'm Sean.
Join us as we carry on with our read-along of Brimstone from chapters 21 to chapter 31. And just a heads up, we might use strong language and explore adult themes.
You can rest easy that there will be no spoilers from beyond chapter 31 of Brimstone. Consider us your buddy readers.
And before we start, quick reminder. If you love our content and want even more, plus early access to episodes, monthly bonus content, and completely ad-free experience, you can become one of our supporters. You can try it for free now and cancel anytime. For the best deal, visit faithfullyfantasy.com or just subscribe on Spotify or Apple Podcasts for instant access. Don't miss out and unlock the extra content waiting for you.
Also, if you're enjoying the show, please take a second to rate us wherever you're listening. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, all of it. It helps more fantasy lovers find us, and it's one of the easiest ways to support what we do. A quick tap and you've made our day.
So, without further ado, let's dive into...
Wait, what just happened? We kick things off in Carrion's apartment, where Fisher is freshly patched up by Ceres's magic, and Carrion looks like he's auditioning for a cautionary STI poster. Turns out Carrion's got some hidden talent, though. He sketches almost as well as Mummy Kingfisher. Ceres, somehow well rested despite pulling an all-nighter in Dreamland, is ready to dive into alchemical rune lessons with Foley, assuming he can drag himself away from his pity party. Meanwhile, Fisher and Carrion stumble across Hey Deadweight, who maybe shockingly isn't a deadweight at all. Hayden leads them to Elroy's Forge, which turns out to be home of the biggest pool of quicksilver anyone's ever seen. Perhaps most shockingly, though, someone actually counted the 1,223 steps you have to descend to witness it. Ceres then has a heart-to-heart with the Hazrax, striking a year-long deal. It gets to hang around in exchange for one favour annually. The Hazrax basically gives her the motivational speech of the century, and she finally steps up to claim her power. Bargains have been eating away at her memories, so sealing her rune is a big win. No more sweaty forge shifts, and she can now conjure solace into twin short swords with one thought. Of course, just as she's closing the gate, Belicon's right-hand man shows up uninvited. He tries to lure Ceres into Belicon's service, but she's not having any of it. The crew roughs him up and sends him packing. Hayden is shipped off to Carlish to recover, while Ceres and Kingfisher reunite after a whopping 2 days apart. Naturally, that union leads them straight to Fisher's bedroom. But before anyone can get too cozy, chaos strikes. Evelyn is battling some mysterious magic inside her head. Cue Fisher's master plan. Wren is warning the villagers. Ceres and Fisher head back to Amontreath for books. Danya checks in with the warriors. Loreth reluctantly goes to fetch Ishabel. Tilena stays with Lane and Hayden, and Carrion is invited along with his new bestie Kingfisher. We wrap up with a pleasant little chat with Zavina, who's been sitting on Foley's mail, and then, because this story never misses a dramatic beat, we're left staring at a completely Starker's Taladeus.
Is it just me or this book is getting better every single week?
Yeah, it's getting better.
Okay, things are really hotting up in both worlds. So shall we see if we got anything right as we move into
confirmed, cursed, or completely unhinged?
This is the new part of the show where we either get to bank those bragging rights or have a laugh at ourselves for being way too wild with our previous theories. And the first one that I had to say is the Elroy. It seems there is no Finran.
It seems like it, doesn't it? It seems actually that Elroy is not even Fae.
I'm still not sure if it's something else or it's just like Gracia. It's just a human with a Fae task.
I don't know. I think we've still got loads to learn about Elroy. I do still have some... There might be a tenuous link to him still being Finran, but I know it's probably confirmed. So Kingfisher calls him old man a lot.
Yes.
Like, come on, old man. And old man is a very British way of referring to a father.
Yes.
You say, oh, my old man means your dad. But one thing is for sure, Fisher does not recognize him as his dad. Elroy does not recognize Kingfisher as his son, and it feels like the end of a line. Like there's a granddad and a great-granddad and a granddad, so it can't really be Fisher's dad. Like it can't. It just can't be, can he?
Yes.
I'm going to let go this week probably. Having just said I'm not ready to let go, I think I'm probably am. I have to just let go.
Yeah, I have to say that it's not like 100% confirmed, but it's not looking really good for that theory.
The theory is like flopping around on the floor. It's not
Yeah, it's just waiting maybe the last stack just to stay there on the floor.
Yeah, and in another bout of, I guess, things we got wrong. Okay. Last week we thought that Foley might actually be Guru. Turns out Foley is not Guru.
Yes, we have seen, and this time Foley and Guru together. So that was another one. The last week we are kind of like, oh yeah, that has to be... I thought it
was obvious. I thought it was canon, but no. We fell into Callie Hart's trap with that one, I think. Something we did semi-predict last week, we talked a little bit about how sad it was going to be when Gracia died. Mm-hmm. This is Gracia Swift, Carrion's last living caretaker, I guess, as carer. Unfortunately, she did die this week. And I didn't think that was going to happen so quickly after we talked about it. Yeah. I don't think we also predicted it would happen, did we? We just said it would be really sad. It was really sad. So we're clutching at straws here, but we're not getting much right at the moment. Also, another one, the Hazrax does actually have a normal voice. Yes. We thought he might have a funny voice.
I was thinking that he might be able to, speak mentally, but no, he speaks properly.
Well, she wasn't sure, was she? Sarah did say, are you in my head? But I think she meant, like, are you rifling around?
Yes, the curious part is that she doesn't know if it's a male or a female.
No, it's neither. Because right at the beginning they said when Callie first introduced the Lords of Midnight, it was 2 males, 2 females, and something completely different entirely.
Yes, one half.
So, I don't think it matters. It's a thing, isn't it? Okay, so now we can really get into it. Let's share what was on our minds as we read this week in Screaming, Crying, Throwing God Swords. How are you feeling about Brimstone so far?
Totally hooked this time. So many kind of like secrets or stuff that I really wanted to see and was one after another one. So obviously, and in this part, when I want to know more, I want to see what's going on, what's going to happen, what's going to be next. So I'm really enjoying this book. I think the best part, this thing that we're doing, just having some chapters every single week, just a few of them, make it feel this getting longer, but at the same time, I feel that I'm not ready to finish as well. And still that we're going like really fast to the end of this book. But at the same time, I'm really enjoying this. I don't want to just to finish yet.
Yeah, same. And I love this new format because it's just, we don't have to leave yet. And we can still theorize. And people know that we're wrong, but it doesn't bother me. It doesn't matter.
Yes.
It's more like, I'm not ready to leave Avelia yet.
We're still discovering. We still don't know how it's going to end. That's still a surprise.
This is going to be my new way of reading books from now on. I feel the same, but I loved this week's set of chapters, mainly for the growth in the relationship between Kingfisher and Carrion. The drawings, the fact that Carrion didn't expect much of Kingfisher's reaction, but Kingfisher didn't take the piss out of him. And the hug at Gracia's kind of cremation. And the fact that when Foley asked who Carrion was, Kingfisher said a friend. And that it's just a total turnaround in their relationship. And Ceres hasn't quite figured it out yet, has she?
No, she haven't witnessed the change in the relationship.
She has. She's witnessed it, but she's not sure what's going on. She's a bit confused.
Well, yeah, I think was the last bit of the chapter when she was thinking that Fisher going to say that no, he's not coming, and then she got surprised that.
Yeah, and there was another time where they were joking, and she expected Fisher to react in a different way, and he didn't. Okay, who's your favorite character this week?
Well, speaking about the devil, Fisher. He is definitely my favorite because we had really good moments with him in these chapters. Like, for example, that sympathy that he felt when Carrion found out this terrible news about what's going on with his family, the last member of the Swift. He was really concerned about Carrion. They even given this hug. That's something that you won't see it.
Yeah, and he said
before, I won't believe it.
Yeah, he said Ceres would have done it, and then Carrion tried to break away, but Fisher didn't let him.
Yes, like he knew that he needed, and he was there to provide that, just to make sure that he was fine. And obviously, he wasn't breaking this promise neither to Ceres about looking after him, bringing his brother back. Even when he was having this argument with Elroy, he said to Elroy that he never broke a promise to Ceres and he's not going to start now. So he promised he's going to bring Hayden, and that is what he's going to do. And also with Evelyn, when she was having this, weird, I don't know how you call it.
Episode.
Exorcism
Exorcist.
episode.
Yeah, maybe.
Yes. So he was there. He was really concerned as well for her because even Sarah was saying that he was able to go after anyone physically. But this was a fight that he knew that he couldn't do anything. So you can see that side of him that he's just so concerned about everyone. And also when he went to see Foley, the Foley was constantly saying that he's not the same, that everything is different for him. And Fisher was showing him that no, he's still the same inside, that he's still too much to give for the Lipoproelia. I
wanted Foley to be my favourite character, but he bugged me a bit this week. Like, he's been there 700 years. He hasn't once attacked a fae. And just he really is having his own pity party, isn't he? And he's a bit rude to Ceres, although Ceres is rude to him. I wasn't feeling it. I'm hopeful that next week Foley will come into his own.
So, which one is your favorite then?
I do this every week. I think I pick a bad or a weird character. I am so intrigued by the Hazrax.
Oh.
I can't wait to see what kind of favors he can grant.
Yeah, he was saying a couple of things that it made me make my mind go wild about what kind of favors he can give to Sarah.
Yeah, and he says something like, you will definitely want to renew our deal. She's only willing to make a 12-month deal. He's so confident that he's going to be able to grant a favor that she desperately needs.
Yes.
I just don't know. Can he bring people back from the dead? Can he, I don't know, so much stuff.
Yes, it's exactly what he said that he could do. That it was making me think that maybe he will go to Saparian, or because he can do something about the suns as well. And we had two suns.
He can put out the suns.
Yes, so I was thinking, okay, it's something related with the suns. Yeah, we had two suns in Salvarian. Is that maybe going to be a clue?
She can't go there.
Be there. Yeah,
she can't go there unless she's wearing a big umbrella or a cloak. Yeah, and the gravity thing.
Yes.
Super cool. Wonder what. Yeah. I'm really intrigued by it. I have been intrigued by the Hazrax right from the very beginning. I love it. Okay. So, were there any oh my gods moments or just things you wanted to talk about?
Oh, yes. Of course, there was so many things about this. Obviously, there was some part that caught my attention more than other ones to bring these, crazy theories. Maybe I think that it might happen. But at the beginning of these chapters, one thing that I was intrigued was when Fisher was saying something about Hayden, that he can definitely see that there's like some relationship there. So it seems they're not like full brothers, like siblings. They maybe could be like half brother or something like this. But made me think as well that he might be somebody important at the same level as Cyrus.
Yeah, we've thought this right from Quicksilver, haven't we? I totally agree with this. He seems to be able to see through Fisher's shadows, despite the fact that only 4 others can do it. And that was 3 people can do it. And then Kingfisher granted Carrion the ability to do it too, and he'd just done that. So Carrion was one of only 4. So I assume the others would be Lorith, Ren, and maybe Danya.
Yes, maybe.
Because they're the 3 that stayed, the last 3 remaining. And Hayden can do it too, because they're in this alleyway and there's a door, and Hayden finds the door. He knows the door he can open the door, but he says you just have to like push it right. But he shouldn't have been able to see the door.
Yes.
So
even Fisher said that he doesn't know how he managed to do that.
And then he's like, I haven't got time to think about that. And Zareth, this is what kind of made us think it in the first place. At the end of Quicksilver, Zareth says, I know exactly who you are. You are blah, 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 daughter to no one, sister to Hayden.
Yes.
So like Zareth knew who he was. He wasn't just a random person. I wonder, and I am convinced that Styx is going to come into this somehow, the God of Shadows, because I've been banging on about the God of Shadows for ages. But the fact that Hayden can see through the shadows, is he a champion of... Anyway, we shouldn't get to theories already, but there's something about Hayden.
There. Yes. The other, oh my God, moment for me was when we finally see Elroy next to Kingfisher. And I was so just like holding my breath while I was listening, because every single thing that he was saying, for me, there was a moment that he was going to just say to Fisher, I'm Finran, and maybe he couldn't recognize.
Father.
Yeah. No, I was thinking that maybe Elroy wasn't able to recognize Fisher because, having consideration, last time he saw him, he was 10, and now he's a grown now. So I was thinking that maybe it's been such a long time that he can't see his little son turn into this big man. Well, Fae.
No.
And then we're like, you're a Fae warrior, the shadows are yours, soulless, this and that. Like, oh my God, he's gonna say. But then it was just like...
It's like, I've never actually seen soulless. So many.
Yeah, so I was so like, he's gonna say, it's Finran. And then he went through other path, and they're like, oh.
Yeah, but we found out so much about Elroy, didn't we? We found out that he knew Ceres from... when she was a child, and he knew that she had magic because all of the tools started rattling in the forge.
Yeah.
We know now the reason why he stopped making metal, while he stopped forging weapons, and he started forging glass, and that was to protect Ceres.
Yes.
He no longer wanted anything to do with the Quicksilver. He burned all of the papers just because he wanted to protect Ceres. So we know that he's keeping more secrets. He knows what was on those papers that he burned. We know that he comes from a long line of people tasked with keeping the Quicksilver safe. We know that Carrion's, or the Swift family, were charged with looking after Carrion. Elroy's family were charged with looking after Quicksilver. I wonder if we're going to find out more families with lots of jobs that were given by either Finran or the gods when the time stopped.
Yeah, that's something that I've been saying from the beginning, that I think there is a little Fae community in the third. Either going to be like proper Fae in disguise, or maybe in this case human. They're working for the Fae.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely I think there's something like a community.
Yeah. We'll see him again for sure.
Yeah.
They say that when they leave. But also they've got a convenient portal now from anywhere, from Avelia to...
No more going back to Madra's palace, so I don't need to criticize that anymore.
Yeah, although Fisher does say he's going to go back and kill Madra.
The other one, it was when Fisher killed these 40 guards for revenge because they did this horrible thing to Sarah so she can't have babies. And it's still surprising me like how much had been affected to Fisher not being able to be a daddy Fisher.
He wants to be a dad.
A shadow daddy, like a literally shadow daddy.
Be an actual shadow daddy, like rocking his baby to sleep with his shadow.
Put him with a shadow while he is just watching sports.
Oh my God, that would be ideal. We wouldn't have to put that blind up in the summer.
Yes,
you
completely
just put the
dark.
shadows on and it'll make it completely dark, yeah.
Yes.
That would be ideal. Yeah, that was quite a good scene. There was that platform that had been constructed in the town square and there was a girl that spat in the guard's face and that's what Fisher thought. That's exactly what Ceres would have done.
Yeah.
I thought that whole chase scene was like really exciting because while just like obviously you knew that Fisher, Carrion and Hayden were going to get out of that situation, it was still full of like drama because you didn't know what he was going to do. It was Fisher that was the volatile one. Was he going to just kind of tear everything down? Answer is yes, he was going to do that. Or was he going to just like take a deep breath and move on? I'm glad he took it out on the guards. Yeah. And then after that, when they went to hide, they were talking to Elroy in the forge and Fisher was watching out the window and the guards were like running past. I thought it was, I could just feel like I was there.
Yes.
It's really descriptive.
Yes. I really love that scene and totally get it, like why Fisher is doing this.
Yeah. I also liked the part where Carrion climbed out of the hole and Fisher was like, wait, I basically had to push you out of the last one and you could have done that all the time. And then Carrion says, and actually it's the name of the chapter, Your Mistake. And it says, while I'm the clown and while I am like making jokes, people are underestimating me. And like basically saying, if you underestimate me at any point, that is your mistake. And I think this just points to the fact that Carrion is hiding so much. He knows way more than he lets on. Quite things like the plant. He knows that the plant is coming back. I've got a theory that I will come to in this Oracle's notebook section about the powers that Carrion has. I've previously talked about mind reading, but I think there's more.
Yes, something to do with all of the power that he has.
Yeah, I think he's hiding. He's keeping it. Well, he's allowing people to underestimate him. For
me, the last one in this section is the Hasrax talking to Saras. Obviously, we knew this moment will come at some point of the book, but I wasn't expecting. And this one's, it's just something that happened, surprised me anyway. And all the power that he has, it was just something totally unexpected because I thought it would be more, I don't know, like a fate. They can have some magic, some power, but he seems there's beyond to everyone else, next level.
So I don't think I underestimated the Hasrax. I think that's why I've been so intrigued by it. It reminds me of a character in other very, very famous fantasy books or romantasy series. And this is a creature that's been around since the dawn of time. Like probably around the time of the demons, so before the fates were even forged. Part of an ancient universe, before the gods, before everything. This creature possibly is a creator, like possibly created the universe in the first place.
Yeah, it's like a kind of god.
Well, yeah, I don't think it's a god. I feel like it, you know how like you have Zareth in his garden and they grew the tree and the fates like were the roots. And but who created the realm of the gods?
Yeah.
And how did the gods come into being? And the Hasrax was there before all of that.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I feel the Hazorax to me feels like the darkness before anything at all. And it is the last of its kind, so there were more of them.
I definitely am so intrigued about this character, about what else he will be able to do and how he going to, all the pieces for all this story.
Yeah, I feel like it can probably like even bend the fabric of space-time. It can do whatever it wants. And it knows everything. It's an avid reader, like we are. The Hazorax loves to read.
Yes. And it's that he has plenty of time because what else he does in the palace?
It has plenty of time.
Yeah.
We're so bad at this, aren't we? Yeah, it just knows everything.
Yeah.
And gives Ceres, like I said in the intro, a pep talk. So she has to give the Quicksilver a memory, and that was kind of the final straw. And what the Hazorax says is that how many more holes can the Quicksilver make in your brain before you will no longer have anything left. And that's the kind of stark reminder that Ceres needs to go and own her power and tell the Quicksilver that she is worthy of the power so that she no longer has to make these bargains. Also, I think it's convenient because Kelly Hart is probably running out of fresh bargain ideas.
Jokes and memories.
Well, you've got jokes, you've got memories, you've got songs, you've got...
secrets.
Yeah, secrets.
Can't remember if I will have anything else. I think that's it. But still, I mean, if you had to give every single time.
Yeah, and also something. Blood every time. Whereas she no longer has to do that. She actually now just has to think of
Yes, think about it and then it comes true.
Yeah,
the swords.
Yeah. I wonder if she can do that to other people's swords. Could she just will Nimrel to be an axe at some point? And Fisher's like, my sword! She's like, oh, sorry, I thought you needed an axe. He's already got an axe, though. That was in the dream.
Yes. Or something even worse. Spoon.
Spoon! Nimrel, a spoon. Well, maybe he might need a spoon one day.
I was never meant to love a human. But then, I saw her. I wasn't supposed to touch that fruit, but I took it, and I ate it. I was the most loyal of angels, until I lost her. Now they call me the devil, and I'll burn heaven itself before I lose her again.
Memoirs of Luzbel, a dark fantasy novel. Book 1 of the Luzbel saga. Now available on Amazon.
Is there anything you've been struggling with this week?
Yeah, a little bit with this new aptitude of Fisher. It's been a little bit cocky in these chapters. And what I mean with this is this, at the beginning when he was as a human and he was comparing himself with Carrion, then he says that Carrion, yes, back to normal as a human form. And then he said that he is way more handsome than Carrion. And these ones, there was a part when Carrion was offering some clothes, and Fisher wanted to maybe use his magic to have new clothes because he didn't want to wear the, dirty or old clothes. And
was it he didn't want to wear white, wasn't it?
Yeah, something. And Fisher, Carrion was saying that, oh, can't believe that you are that vain, that you want to use your magic instead to wear this. And also when he was with Ceres about what she think when he's not there, and he was like, let me guess, you're thinking about how handsome I am,
yeah, but
how I
he's
look
just
with
joking.
I know, but it feels just so out of character because he's a warrior.
I don't think
a fey warrior.
Yeah, I know, but he's always been like that, hasn't he? If you think about how he spoke to her in the forge in Quicksilver when she was stealing his ring, he's always like that.
Yeah, but he was more you think you want to me, or you want to, so more physical about what she wants to do with him. But in this time, he was how good I look in trousers. Yeah.
But it can't have been that bad because he was also your favorite character this week. So it can't have been that bad.
Yeah, it's just that, like I said, struggling is because it feels a little bit our character. I don't see like a warrior having that kind of like piece of vein as well at the same time.
So I felt slightly differently to you, that I quite liked that banter between him and Carrion. I felt like it's the same kind of things he would have said to Ren. I feel like he was really letting him in. The one thing that I think, if I pick at Kingfisher, is the like how soppy he's getting with Ceres, but I know it's very much. So I know, I suppose. Yeah. But actually, that's not what I struggled with this week. Honestly, I'm still struggling with Danya and Carrion.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like Callie Hart has brought in Zavina so that we can hate somebody else.
Yeah.
I think she decided she doesn't want us to hate Danya anymore, because we all love Carrion, and we all hated Danya. Just remember how bad she was in the last book. She didn't like humans. So now what we've got is she hated humans, although she admitted she thought he was pretty.
And now that he's fake,
she's fine.
Yeah.
She's basically a xenophobe. And she was horrible. The way she spoke to Fisher, the way she spoke to Ceres when Ceres was sitting in the chair next to
the
Kingfisher.
Yeah.
No, on the table in the dining room.
Oh, okay, yes.
That she's just an awful person, but I feel, and I still can't get over that. I can't have that. And I think that Callie Hart is bringing in Zavina with that scene that we had at the end of the book where she's been keeping the missives and we find out that she did something to Tal, even though Tal followed her to the Blood Court. She's brought in Zavina to take the place of Danya. And I'm not falling for it yet. I'm struggling with Danya and Carrion. And we know that they're getting it on because when Everlane had her episode, they were both conveniently there together.
They are, both of them, minding their own business.
Yeah. I
find that funny.
I just feel like it's a pivot. It's too much of a pivot for Danya's character.
Yes, it's Carrion's is like Danya's redemption arc, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's not enough for me, because that just makes me think that she doesn't deserve Carrion. And he's just got such low self-esteem that he goes for a really shitty person.
I think Carrion is more in the physical part, more the personality-wise. So I don't think right now he's thinking that she looks nice to me or whatever. She might be hot or whatever.
Yeah.
That's why the only thing that he's thinking is that.
Yeah, I don't like it at the moment.
Okay. Do you have any questions about this chapter?
So many questions, as usual.
No.
Who is Jackin Prost, and will we see him again? This is the pirate that Kingfisher refers to. Kingfisher once punched him in the face and broke his hand, and it hurt so much. And that was such a throwaway line that just was there to show that Ceres has mended his hand. But didn't it make you think of another character that we've already seen? So we know that the pirates are, I think we know. Do we know, or did I just make this up? That the pirates are in the collection of islands that guard Lycia.
I remember that Ryan was saying something about pirates. He mentioned something about the business they had when he was spent some history to Ceres.
Yeah, like right at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then we also met another creature that had bark-like skin and kind of looked like a tree. And this is how he describes Jackin Prost, like bark-like skin. When they first went to Irin with Ceres, when Kingfisher first took Ceres to Irin, a like tree sprite.
Yeah, it was a creature that looked like a tree.
Yeah, I came to collect the horses and then moan at Kingfisher, or tell Kingfisher that everybody wanted to see him or something.
Yes.
Just made me think of that character.
Yes. It's one of them, seems.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So I have a few other questions relating to Foley. Foley knows a lot. Obviously, he's been living in a library for 700 years, but he talks about the circle in the book. When Ceres is reading the book, she's she's being a bit of a pain, isn't she? She's being a bit of a child. And she says, I'm not going to do this. This is baby work. Like, I'm not going to practice these challenges because they're for kids. Like, look at this basic circle. And then Foley explains that the circle is the origin of magic and that it's like the basis of all magic. He says it's like a wheel. And that made me think of Sylvarin being in the shape of a wheel. Is it related? That is a question I have. Is Sylvarin somehow the origin of things? And why is it shaped like a wheel?
The first thought that came to my mind when I was reading this was that Sylvarin is like a really powerful place. And maybe that was one of the reasons the mother went there to maybe channel all this magic and then just making everyone thinking that there's no magic when actually on the ground
She's
or
stealing
something.
it.
Yeah, she's maybe containing all the magic for herself.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely a link between the shape of this circle or the wheel with the city as well. The other thing that I was thinking about Foley, I had a question about it, is that he seems that he was really affected about the letters that he never received from the friends. And even when Laura was saying, yeah, all of us sent you letters, that maybe you didn't receive it, but we did. I just wonder, is there anything will change if he will receive those letters? Because I think he will just still the same. So
I think it would. Because I think he spent 700 years thinking his friends would disown him because he turned into a vampire. And he hasn't had the letters. I think it would have changed everything. My question is, so there's a bit of a contradiction, I think. And I don't know whether this is just... You could explain this away by Ceres not thinking about it. But Foley says something like, he can't tell if I'm lying. And I think he's talking about Taladeus because they're no longer connected. Yes. And he wouldn't glow if he was lying. And that suggests to me that he could lie, that he is able to lie. And then later, or like in a couple of paragraphs later, Ceres says... Neither of you can lie, talking about Lorith and Foley, and obviously alluding to the fact that they are both oath-bound fae. But Foley suggested he could lie. So my question is he oath-bound, and is that just a little continuity error? Because we know there are some in this book, like we're seeing.
Or maybe it's just because now he's a vampire, so the rule doesn't apply to him anymore.
Yeah, but Sarah says neither of you can lie. And that suggests that he can't lie. I think the first one might just be a little bit of a slip. Normally I wouldn't think that, and I'd like find a way of explaining it inside, but we are seeing a few of them in this book, aren't we?
True. My other question is the Sarah's. Now we know that she had these healing powers because she was able to heal Fisher in a dream. So imagine how it's going to be when it's maybe physical. But also, I was wondering if maybe she's going to have like minor magic, like it was Fisher as well, because Fisher had like some stuff.
Yeah, so we found out in Quicksilver that there were 3 types of alchemists. There was the ones that could transmute metals, the ones that found the truth to immortality, and the ones that could heal. And then there's the ones that could bring all 3 of those things together, and the Tria Prima, is that?
Tria Prima, I think. Yeah. Something like this.
So yeah, I don't think that's minor magic, but she could have other minor magics.
Other question that I have is, this little stargazer that was chasing Sarah's, and then it just went out of the place where all the magic is, and it dies chasing Sarah's. I was just wondering why, because it's happening again. It reminded me there's a scene with Onyx that wasn't able to wait for Cyrus to come back to college, and this little stargazer wasn't able to wait for Cyrus to come back to the library because she will return. She's doing something there, but it's like, what's going on? It's something so important for this little stargazer, because other thing that I'm thinking is that she put the stargazer in her pocket.
The dead stargazer.
Yes, and I'm thinking maybe there's something really important if she maybe start to unfold the paper.
Maybe it's a note.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be a note or pieces of a book that maybe is missing if she needed and then she have it with her all the time.
Yeah, maybe.
Something.
I took a bit more of a sinister view of this, and I thought maybe because Foley says don't get too close to them, they could steal your hair. And if a witch gets hold of the hair, then they can do all sorts of things. Mm-hmm. So I was thinking that maybe Algat had set the paper bird, the stargazer, onto Ceres, and it needed to get some blood. So it gave her a paper cut, and now the stargazer has her blood. Luckily, Ceres has it in her pocket. I am sure she will find it. She'll put her hand in her pocket and she'll be like, oh, what's this? I hadn't thought about it maybe having a message on it or a book, and I think I prefer that. I was just thinking that because Foley gave her the warning about what witches do and how the stargazers don't, they're just so trusting and they can't work out that somebody might be taking advantage of somebody. I for sure will see the stargazer again though.
Yes, definitely.
I don't think the stargazer intended to follow her out of the library either, did it? I think it just launched at her and she stepped back and it crossed the boundary.
Couldn't stop. Yes, whatever it is, something that I'm convinced is that we will see inside the stargazer.
Yeah.
The other thing that I was wondering is when there was this line that salt, quicksilver, and brimstone combined. Nothing else. She's still reading like, come on, what they do? Come on, Cyrus, keep reading.
Yeah, so I don't think we know what they do, but we know they form the tria prima, don't we? We know that it's like the most powerful thing.
Yes.
I was linking those things back. So quicksilver obviously transmute the metals. Brimstone and salt. We haven't got confirmation yet, but I think possibly brimstone is the one that's linked to immortality. I think that is most likely linked to dragons. I still hope that we see dragons. And then salt, I thought that might be the healing one because salt is usually what you would use on a wound in like medieval time, wouldn't you?
Or to keep things fresh for longer.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Maybe it's immortality then. Anyway, but yeah, there's just so much to learn about those three. But obviously, Ceres is going to do it at some point, isn't she?
Yes.
The Hazrax gives her a bit of information about this. And one thing that jumped out to me in that interaction with the Hazrax is that he could not touch the relic. So I wonder if the Hazrax cannot touch quicksilver. Is it the quicksilver that the Hazrax is not able to touch? And is that because quicksilver is linked to the gods somehow? I don't know. There's something that burns the Hazrax's hand.
Yes. It's strange because so far the quicksilver is the connection to every single realm. So obviously whatever he is or it is.
It's probably stuck in Avelia.
Yeah.
It's super interesting. I will keep coming back to the Hazrax. I'm totally obsessed with finding out what the Hazrax is.
Yes, it's just amazing. Other question that I have is when Fisher was in Silveran and he got this power to put the whole city into the darkness when he's been struggling with magic. Where this magic come from? Because we just talk about that maybe there's something in the city. And I was wondering if maybe when he is doing this to get this power, somehow he managed to maybe unlock the power of the city.
Like tap into it. Yeah.
Yes.
Because it wasn't working very well before, was it?
No.
And all of a sudden it can work now. And he does say it doesn't feel like he needs to replenish it. So there is definitely a trigger point.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't find out what that is though, I don't think. Not yet.
No. Other interesting part for me is the memory that Sarah gave to the Quicksilver when she said that she was in the Mirage counting money and she was about to say something to Hayden and then she forgets about everything else. I just wondered, she was always struggling. It seems that she had been always somebody with no money.
Yeah, so many questions about this. What is the memory? How did she get hold of the money in the first place?
Yes. and obviously it has to be something important, but at the same time, she thought that it has something that she can just forget about it. So it's this little bit contradiction at the same time.
Or maybe she wanted to forget about it. Maybe it implicates her somehow.
At some point they had money and then they lost everything.
She stole it. They lost it. Yeah. She wanted to forget it because the first thing she thought of was her mum in the street. And you would think that would be the memory that you'd want to forget because it's a terrible one. Mm-hmm. But she is like, no, that actually made me who I am. I need that memory to drive me on.
Yes.
But this one, the one about the money, but Hayden was there. I'm banking on Hayden remembering.
Yes.
And then we get to find out soon. But there's so many things that are left unresolved in this book or that are opened. I don't think we will find out all these answers in this book. I think she will wrap them up in the next one. So this could be one that we don't find out actually until the end.
Yeah, I think it's going to be one of those that it doesn't seem there's that much importance to the story. And then the next book will say that, oh yeah.
Yeah, I think it's hugely important. That memory. Yeah, I think it will come back, won't it?
Yes.
Okay, so another few questions I have. So we know that the Swift family were charged with looking after Carrion. Elroy's family were charged with collecting and guarding the Quicksilver. Who are the other families and what are they doing? Perhaps the woman who owns the House of Carla. She doesn't know her name, but she knows it's not Carla. And I feel like not knowing your name is similar to Kingfisher. It's a kind of a Fae thing, or not using your real name. Other people, I don't know. I don't know if we know anybody
remember
else.
There was a story about somebody that was murdered because was lying about their age. So that maybe is another hint. Obviously, there's more.
Yeah, but what else did Finran charge them with? Because we know that they all had jobs.
Yes.
And Elroy does say, like, the Swifts were not the only ones that were trusted.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe there's going to be other ones collecting something else for Sarah. So
Brimstone, salt.
Yes, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Also, so like on a similar point, like Elroy's family were charged with guarding the Quicksilver and collecting it. They had papers. Elroy's dad was a drunk and got off his face on whiskey, and there was a fire, and it caught on all the papers that explained why and what and Solus and all of that got burned, apart from a few. And then he says that he burned the rest of them, and Fisher and Carrion were shocked, and Carrion's like, what on earth possessed you to do that? And he says, I was protecting Ceres. There was something in those papers that implicated Ceres and that would condemn Ceres, is what he says. Fisher says he's beginning to think he knows what it is. I wonder if they are sketches from his mother, like sketches of Ceres controlling the Quicksilver with Fae ears and things that would, if they got to Madra, then that would be terrible.
Yes. Also, I think when he burned everything just to make sure there's no more proofs, he did it as well with the idea that he will be the only one who is keeping these secrets or this important information. And it will come a time that maybe he will say personally to Cyrus, you are this, or you had to do this because this is important
but
for you.
He also doesn't have a son, does he? So he's not handing that down to anybody.
Yes, which I think that's another way to tell us that everything's going to be resolved in this generation.
It ends with him. Yeah. Same with Gracia. Gracia didn't have a descendant either.
She was the last Swift. Yes.
Yeah, so it all ties up, doesn't it? We have an awkward moment with Archer in this set of chapters where Ceres goes back to Kingfisher's bedroom and the room isn't prepared. The bath isn't finished. Archer gets really stressed for no reason at all.
He's always a stress.
He's just a panicker, isn't he?
Yeah.
And one of the other fire sprites picks up a pot, like a little pot bird, an ornament, and that is where we learn the inspiration of Kingfisher's name came when Adina was pregnant with Kingfisher. She found this in a market in Ballard and bought it, and she decided that
he will be Kingfisher.
He will be known to everyone as Kingfisher. Archer obviously knows a lot about Adina's family life, about Kingfisher's history. I wonder if she trusted him with Kingfisher's name. Wonder if he knows what Kingfisher's real name is.
Yes. I wonder if there's something, like a will or something to make sure that if something happened to the parents, somebody else would save the name.
It's in the book, isn't it? I think. Did we find that out, or is that just me guessing? There's a book in the library that has a little butterfly on it.
We don't know what is in the book, so I just have to find it. So it might be there, but I'm surprised if they don't have like a system to make sure that he's going to have the name so he can marry.
Yeah, no, I'm sure I'm sure we'll find out what it is. Big question. I've got an idea. Who was Evelyn talking to?
I had just one word, Malcolm.
Yeah, we think it was Malcolm.
Might be completely wrong, but it feels.
It feels like it. Also, it was in the chapter Leash, and Ceres confirms that to Carrion that she knows where Taladeus is because she feels a connection, but it's nothing like the connection she has with Kingfisher. It feels more like a leash. Mm-hmm. And in the same chapter, Evelyn appears to be on some kind of leash, and we know that her maker, her sire, is Malcolm.
Yes.
So yeah, I don't know. We'll see, won't we?
Plus, in the audiobook, there's a part when this, Ford is talking to Evelyn, saying like, run, run. I can see or I can feel that the same voice they use for Malcolm.
Does sound like it, doesn't it?
Yes. So at the beginning, I was saying that Malcolm is not dead. There was an illusion maybe, and that he will come back. So maybe this is another point for the theory. They're still there.
We need to keep reading. Another question. What other missives is Zavina hiding?
The reason that she gave is just because he is not linked to the throne or Malcolm, that kind of stuff. So I don't know if there's more people around. They're not receiving the message from her.
Probably. I think she's a bit of like power hungry, isn't she? And knowledge is power, and her holding on to knowledge. I would say she's read all of Malcolm's mail from Bellicon. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they'll know. She'll know a lot. Final question from me: where is Simon? So it says, quote, "Over the years, I'd seen Carrion successfully hide an array of emotions. He was too slow to hide the colour that leapt to his cheeks today. Don't you concern yourself with Simon," he said. "I know exactly where my godsword is. Thank you very much." Does he know where his godsword is? Has he lost it? Is it in the hands of someone else?
Well, I don't think anybody else can grab it, but doesn't mean that maybe the sword is in a special mission, doing something somewhere.
Don't know, but they could grab it with gloves.
Yeah.
Or a piece of fabric, because we've seen that happen. I think someone's stolen it.
I think that he generally doesn't know what it is and just pretend it.
Yeah. Or maybe embarrassing, he's gone red. Maybe he's just left it in Danya's room or something.
Yeah.
Maybe it's as innocent as that, but I'm worried about Simon.
Yes.
Where is Simon?
I really hope that there's something more, I don't know, more meaningful. He's just forgotten Danya's.
I hope so. You know how I feel about this situation. So, yeah.
Okay, we've been straying into theories already, but should we lock them in as we flip the pages of
the Oracle's Notebook? This is the part of the show where we channel our inner eye as Mummy Kingfisher would and put our oracle skills to the test in the hope that we get at least something right before the end of the book. So, what are your theories? Actually, I'm going to start.
Okay.
So, in Carrion's apartment, there are several drawings. Drawings in the style similar to the way my mother had loved to sketch when I was a child, says Kingfisher. And considering we're in the Oracle's Notebook now, I have a theory that Carrion can see what's going to happen.
He has Athena's power as well.
Yeah, but maybe he doesn't quite understand it yet, or he doesn't know, or nobody's explained it to him, but the sketches that he makes, and is the sketch of the castle with the flags on, is that not, in fact, what it used to look like, but actually what it will look like in the future when he takes his rightful place on the throne? I also wonder if the plant will come back. He knew he had to take the plant. Is that because he had seen a use for it?
Yes. I wonder if maybe that plant is like medicine for the road or something. Imagine if I can do like a potion against that.
I've already suspected that he can read minds, but he can also possibly see the future.
I had to admit that it's really suspicious that he had these drawings and Kingfisher said this like the same as my mom.
Yeah.
We know that Adina, she was an oracle. So that was like something really powerful thing. And we always say that Carrion, he might have something really powerful.
Really powerful, yeah.
Because the Dianthus family.
Yeah, the only other explanation of why, I mean, it could just be that they have similar style of drawing. The other thing is that possibly Adina was the one that drew the original pictures and he was copying them out of her book.
It's interesting because obviously I took it just as they were just memories of Carrion during his childhood, and then he was just drawing it because he didn't know, but at the same time he felt there was something important.
He said he copied it from the book.
From the book.
Yeah, but I don't know whether he was just saying that, or because if they were his visions, he might not have said it.
Yeah.
But also he drew his mom and his dad, and they wouldn't be forward projected memories. They would be just his memory. They would have to just be his memories or copied from the book. Any theories from you?
Yes, so when I was reading this part about the alchemist and the Tria Prima, for me, since this is really powerful thing there's between the alchemist, and at that moment, it reminds me as well this trio from Madra, Bellicon, and Malcolm. So I was wondering if maybe they are kind of like alchemists, or they were like alchemists, I don't know if students or pupils or something, and they were creating by themselves this Tria Prima to get more powerful, turn into immortals like Malcolm is doing it, or Bellicon as well, or Madra as a human.
Yeah, I can't get behind this one just because that Bellicon is so desperate for an alchemist. Malcolm was desperate for an alchemist. Madra was trying to rid the world of alchemists.
Yes, it's just that I don't think if it's something related to alchemists, I don't think they are the same.
I don't think they're alchemists. I definitely don't think they're alchemists. I can't rationalize that one.
Yeah, for me, it's more because when they say that, they're like siblings, or it feels more like a brotherhood, like something like a pact they
felt
made.
Like they were gods.
Yes, and this Tria Prima for me were like, maybe it's something here that maybe they are doing with this, but I still like putting all the pieces together to make it like
okay,
make
bring
sense.
It back next week, make it make sense.
Thanks. The other one is the Hasrak. I think that maybe he will be able to put out one of the suns, because he said he can put out the sun or manipulate gravity as well. So is this maybe a foreshadowing what is going to happen next with one of the twin suns in Salvaran?
Or do you remember the really brief nod to the fact that like there was a storm ripped through the sky and did something to the suns in Quicksilver? Do you remember
the origin of the two gods? There was first one, and then the storm split in two.
Do you think that was the Hasraks that did that?
Do we know at the end what was the storm? Because it was like a god as well, isn't it? It was another god like a attacking.
It was in Greek mythology. But it wasn't in the book. It wasn't explained in...
No, I think there was an explanation about how the twin goddess.
Yeah.
They were created.
Yeah, but it was just it was a great storm. And then when we looked at like the Greek mythology, there was another similar story. That was one of the other gods.
So I wonder if maybe the Hasdrak, in Greek mythology, they had the gods like Zeus or Hades, but they were the children of the Titans, and the Titans were more powerful than the gods. So I wonder if maybe the Hasdrak is like a Titan.
Yeah.
So it's beyond the gods.
Yeah.
Wild one.
Yeah. Another one that we talked about believed that Malcolm was the voice in Everlane's mind, but we could be completely wrong. Like, loads of people have already read it and just be laughing at us right now. There was also a bit of a suspicious mention of, well, not suspicious mention, it was quite a huge, like, kind of bomb drop where we found out that all of the Lupoporelia had sworn fealty to Bellicon.
Yes.
And actually, outside of Kalish, Bellicon could command them to do whatever he wanted. He didn't do that in Gilethrai. So I'm not sure if Kelly Hart hadn't had the idea at that moment, or whether he also couldn't do it in Gilethrai, but he didn't do it, or he just didn't. Because he could have just commanded them there, and then him and Lorith.
I mean, there's something special about Gilethrai. So I'm assuming the reason that he can't do that in college is because there are these protections all around.
Yeah, Kingfisher says that.
Kingfisher that put in the place. And Gilethrai is a place when there's no magic. So I'm wondering if maybe Bellicon's magic was...
yeah, he wasn't... Well, no, but that's like the oath magic, isn't it? It's not his magic.
It's still magic.
But he could compel them to do anything. I've got a feeling that's going to come back and it's going to be quite bad. But Cerys might be able to, because she hasn't sworn fealty to King Bellicon. And actually that is what the guy, Bellicon's right-hand man, came through and tried to get her to do that. I think that's why he came. He tried to get her to swear fealty, because obviously Bellicon sees that as a chink in his armor, that he's not able to compel her to do something.
How an alchemist for himself.
Yeah, but I feel like it's going to come back. This Bellicon will compel Fisher and the Lupoporelia to do something, and obviously Carrion and Cerys have not sworn fealty to him, or Foley, and maybe the three of them will be able to save the day. I also believe, this is a really important theory, I believe that Fisher will pay for the trout that he stole for Onyx from the Shag's head.
Really?
Yeah. He said, I will go to the Shag's head and I will pay for the trout that I stole. So we learnt that he can't conjure food as an illusion, but he can, in fact, steal it from a pub, which is quite useful. In fact, I wonder if it was the Shag's head that we met in the first place. Okay, and talking of Onyx, I still think that Onyx has part of Adina's soul. And the main reason for this is because Kingfisher was singing a lullaby that Adina sang to him. And he didn't have an explanation of why. He was just humming it and singing it to the fox. And
the fox was really happy with this.
Yeah, it's a lullaby from his mum. Another link between Onyx and Kingfisher's mum. I am now more convinced than ever that the fox was dying, and Adina knew that Cerys would need this fox.
Yes.
So she attached a piece of her soul to the fox to save Onyx's life, which means she cannot pass on. She's now hanging out in the same place that Morel is hanging out, because Morel attached her soul to a sword. And I cannot see another alternative. And I have, since Quicksilver, believed that Onyx is playing host to Kingfisher's mom's spirit.
Yes, everything relating to Onyx, it seems there is something about Fisher parents, because the fact that the fox is a male made me think sometimes that, well, it could be maybe Finran, that he went back to Ivelia and for some reason he went back as a fox or something happened to him.
He was trapped. He couldn't go back.
Yeah, but definitely it's somebody that it was really close to Fisher.
Yeah, I think the fact that Onyx is a male fox doesn't make any difference. Because let's say you were dying and I could keep you alive by giving you a piece of my soul, you'd have a piece of my soul, but you would still be male. Like, you'd still be you. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's just a vessel.
It's your body, yeah. So the fact that Onyx is a male fox doesn't make any difference. It's just got a piece of Kingfisher's mum's soul. I'm so convinced about this. And again, like, people might be laughing at me, and I have been banging on about this since Ballard in Quicksilver.
Yeah.
But I'm not ready to let go of it. I just, like, every week we get more evidence.
It's not being debunked at the moment, so obviously.
It's not being debunked, but it's being strengthened every week.
Okay. Sticking with the theme of precognition, let's look at the chapters we're going to cover next week. We will be diving into chapters 32 to 43.
Yeah, we're getting so close to the end. This is going to be week 4.
I know. I really don't want to finish, but at the same time, I want to see what happens next.
We've got 2 weeks left and then a therapy session. And
then we'll see which theories is still there for us to keep.
To die on the hill for the next year while we wait for it to come out. Before we leave you, let's finish on questions from the Quicksilver, the part of the show where we listen hard to the ethereal whispers of the Quicksilver and dig deep into our souls for the answer. So last week, we said, incorrectly, we suspect that Foley has been hiding as a cat and that there is more to Onyx. Still believe that one. If you had to hide out as an animal for hundreds of years, what would you choose?
I think I will go for a crow, because you can fly, and if you go to Onyx, that will be something really useful if you go to long distance. Plus, people always had this, like, beliefs about crows, that you need to respect them, never hunt them, never try to eat them, because you will eat like somebody's soul or something like this.
How interesting.
So I know that as a crow, it will be safe from hunters, for example, and I'll be black, so I can disguise really well in the dark, and if I had to, spy something or somebody.
Yeah. It's interesting because my initial thought was an eagle because of for the same reasons, in that you could fly and you were, like, relatively free. And
no, if it was something like for a few days or just to have experience, that was my first thought, like an eagle. But if I were talking about living like that for hundreds of years, then I was like, okay, I like the fact that I can fly, but I like to not be really, I don't know, something that you can spot really easily, caught the attention.
But you'd have to eat worms, wouldn't you? Do crows eat worms, or do they eat meat? Oh, do they eat meat?
Yeah.
Like an eagle.
They're more carnivores than anything else. I didn't know
anything about crows. But I also kind of liked the idea of being a cat, because cats have 9 lives.
And they're always falling for legs.
Yeah, I always fall on their feet. Unlike me, I always fall on my knees.
On your bum.
No, I don't ever fall on my bum. I do fall on my knees quite a lot.
Yes.
This week is a really personal question, so I hope you're ready for it.
Okay.
If you had to give the Quicksilver one memory and you would lose it forever, what would it be?
That would be mine. Can I choose maybe something from my mom? She loses the memory.
It's like when you did something bad.
Yeah, so terrible, embarrassing for myself. So I can forget about it.
No, it has to be you. But it could be an embarrassing one, but then you have to admit it to all the listeners.
Yes.
Yeah, you've got a week to think about it. Okay, and that's all we've got time for this week. So don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Faithfully Fantasy Pod. Come and join the conversation. We'd love to hear if you're reading along with us and what you think of the series so far. So if you've got thoughts, send them our way.
And with this, we have just one more thing to say. Thank you for listening to Faithfully Fantasy,
the husband and wife podcast talking all things Brimstone.
We'll see you next week for our read-along of chapters 32 to 43. And of course, for more Faithfully Fantasy.
Bye!